Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor. It is Monday, May 3rd, 2021, episode number 680 of Hard Factor. I'm Will. We got Mark, Wes, Pat, and Bubba producing. And, surprise, surprise, the journalist from Detroit who covered the poop wall last week from last week's story, Charlie Langton. He's on the back end of this show today, so strap in for that. Very fun conversation with the local news legend. So, you guys excited to release that one? Do you have fun talking to Charlie?
Charlie's the man.
Charlie's the man.
He is the
I'd like to drink some wine with Charlie, hang out with Charlie. Yeah, Charlie's the best.
Yeah,
seems like a good company.
I concur. Also, metal detecting show. What's happening, fellas? There's a lot of things I got to follow up with you real quick. First one's metal detecting show. What's going on?
Anytime, any place. I'm ready. I'm going to the beach for 3 days this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and that's the only time I've had really anything going on. And other than that, I can detect whenever.
So you and Wes can go walk the block to each other's house and detect and film.
We're gonna go. So. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I was trolling them this weekend because my cousin found a Revolutionary War era penny.
Pat's cousin's running circles around you guys.
Found a seated half.
I was jealous until I Googled how much that thing's worth, so don't really care anymore.
It's not what it's about, Mark.
It's like $90.
Well, it's the thrill of the game, though. Thrill of the game. Imagine if you found a $90.
I was like, holy shit!
What if you found a $90 treasure just sitting on the sidewalk there?
Yeah, I mean,
you could do that with your.
We will. We're going to.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it more. Be about it. I'd say.
Okay.
The people are clamoring for a metal detecting show. Bubba, people are also clamoring for an update on your lacrosse coaching. Hear that you had a big tourney going on.
Yeah, it was the final leg of the season. We had a tournament yesterday in the blistering heat. It was a single elimination, 2 games to make it to the championship. That was today. And the boys prevailed in a 4-3 victory in the first game and a 5-4 victory in overtime.
Whoa!
In the second game. Yeah, they beasted it in overtime. It was awesome.
A couple
real proud of them.
There. Nice.
What happened in the championship game, Bubba?
I wasn't able to make it to the championship game, and I still don't know what happened. Neither of the fathers have answered my text.
Well,
so
then they lost. Yeah,
I'm thinking something bad happened.
Sounds
Bubba,
like
you're the coach, right?
Yeah.
You're the coach.
Yeah, I'm the head coach, yeah.
Everybody's pretty disappointed in Coach Bubba after not showing up to the championship game.
I would say so, yeah.
Well, Bubba's dad didn't let him off work, right? Bubba had to.
Yeah. I answer to one man, and that's my pal.
Did you tell him about the championship game?
Yeah, I called them today acting all excited because, like, I told my mom about it. You know, when you tell your mom, asking is like to see what you can do if you can get off. Sure. She was like, well, you can't get off. And then I called my dad acting all excited about it to, like, be like, oh, maybe he'd be like, oh, then why don't you call in, take off. And he was like, well, that sucks. And then that was the end of the conversation.
Don't answer themselves, Bubba.
Bubba's dad's old school. He's like, no son of mine's going to be a lacrosse coach. It's thinks it's like an acting gig or something. Something
hobby.
Hopefully, this is your lacrosse coaching career, Bubba. I'm hoping that you guys can bounce back after this tournament.
I hope to continue with these.
What happened? Did you guys have like an Adam Banks scenario where like a kid transferred mid-season? Because you guys were like 0-8, and then you got to the championship game. You won like 5 of your last 6. What happened?
We actually had a kid transfer mid-season that helped the season around.
Shocker!
He was unbelievable. He
was
really more
Emilio
of.
Estevez.
But it was also more of, so I coached 5 games and won 4 of those games, and then I was away for 6 games. And the 2 dads that coached, they're just
Bubba, it sounds like you should have been there for the championship game. Then we got to move on.
Yeah,
we got more stuff. We got more stuff. Hashtag Fat Boy Summer. The Pigs in a Blanket Power Hour with PFT, fellas. This has been TBD for a while. When is it going to happen? We need to set a date here.
What day of the week is June 20th?
June 20th. Why is that important?
It's the summer solstice.
First day of summer, and it's when like our weight loss thing ends.
It's a Sunday.
All right.
Okay, so
there it is.
Sunday.
There it is. First day of summer.
June 20th.
Okay.
We will do a Pigs in a Blanket Power Hour that day, and then record a podcast where we are so full it is painful.
Yeah.
I just got told they lost 7-1.
7-1.
Oh, Bubba, you really should have been there.
You're not
really, really should have been there for the boys.
He's gonna get hooked on drugs now.
Yeah, that's a beat. You're never gonna live that beat down.
You're gonna have to actually, you're gonna have to whip him into shape. Gonna have to give him a hard practice after you accept the loss.
Do they even give a second place trophy to a team that gets absolutely fucking stomped like that? I wouldn't.
threw their medals on the ground.
Yeah.
The last thing you expect is your coach not to be there at the championship.
It's pretty rough. It's brutal. Honestly, it's brutal. It's
Well, yeah.
hard to come back from.
Hard to get up for that game, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so June 20th is the Pigs in a Blanket Power Hour to celebrate Fat Boy Summer and everything great about it. Also, Hard Factor Florida Vacation. We're putting it together. Is it happening? Is the first one happening this year or next year? Is it going to be fall of 2021 or is it going to be spring of 2022?
I think it should probably be spring of 2022. Knowing us,
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, spring of 2022. Stay tuned for details. Anything else, fellas, before we jump into the Daily Buzz? Let's do the news. Number 3 in the Daily Buzz today. It's a top 3. The Bidens, the first family, are bringing a rescue cat, a female, according to the First Lady, into the White House to join Champ and Major, the 2 German Shepherds. Major, the German Shepherd, who is back in the White House following remedial training after previously biting 2 White House employees, has undergone additional cat training courses in preparation to try and not kill the new cat on site once it's released into the building. Godspeed to that cat. Hope it knows how to hide.
Well, I think that this is bad for Major because, Joe Biden himself brought the crime bill, which is a 3 strikes, you're out life situation. And Major's got 2 strikes. So with this cat, if Joe Biden is fair, he treats all situations like he did with the terrible crime bill that decimated an entire community, then Major's going to be euthanized.
They're bringing a cat into Major's territory. What the fuck are they thinking?
Mark, don't worry. They walked Major through a cat shelter, and they said that he did fine when the cats were in cages and he could not bite them. And he walked through the shelter. He did okay.
Wes had to take.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah. Well, just the tweet I said is they better get a cat that's very common looking because they're going to go through a few of them. Exactly.
Like in Meet the Fuckers, they need like a very generic looking cat because they're not exactly. They're going to have to spray paint the tail of a few cats.
Mm-hmm. Also, last time a cat was in the White House, it ended up with a cigar inside of it, from what I read related to that. Ken Starr investigation.
You're just talking about pussy?
Socks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about the Clinton administration. Yep.
Socks ate the cigar that went in Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, it went in Monica. Okay, I misread that.
It was a pussy. It was a pussy joke. That was a pussy joke.
Gotcha. Well, Pat was confused. Yeah. Number 2.
And then you guys either set me up or either way it worked out. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It did? Remember Socks? He was the last cat, I think. Was he? I think he was the last cat. Number 2. North Korea has vowed to punish President Biden for his quote-unquote blunder of calling their nuclear program a threat recently. Experts think that Kim Jong-un will start pushing boundaries with more missile tests, while Biden says he's going to be the first president to completely disarm the entire Korean peninsula. He's going to get those nukes right out of KJU's hands. I guess get your popcorn ready, but for probably nothing.
North Korea proving Biden wrong there by saying they'll nuke us if we say that they're a threat.
They've the same reaction they've had every time any president has said anything.
I'll show you calling me a threat. I'll kill you.
Yeah. So more of the same in North Korea. We'll see what happens there. Number 1, though, fellas, is a big-time sports update. It was a big sports weekend. I don't know if you saw it. A little race called the Kentucky Derby. Bob Baffert, legendary horse trainer, won his 7th Kentucky Derby with Medina Spirit. The win was worth $1.86 million. Pretty good for a horse that only cost the owner $35K last year when he bought him. So
it's good.
Last year.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, because if you got I guess it's 3-year-olds run that race, right? So $35K is cheap as fuck, but then what's it cost at that level? Like $100,000 a year to take care of, and he's got a bunch of stinkers
to train it.
I'm so mad at why did I bet against Baffert? Hot Rod Charlie. If he just had another 100 meters, he was coming on the outside.
But Medina Spirit had that race wire to wire, start to finish.
Race of a lifetime for that horse.
Was. And it's young, I believe. It was only one of its first few races. Former heavyweight boxing champ and Fat Boy Summer poster boy Andy Ruiz beat Chris Areola in a heavyweight boxing match Saturday night. where the 40-year-old Areola did knock Ruiz down before going on to lose comfortably by decision. Heavyweight boxing, I think, what do you guys think about this? It needs a tournament, like a Grand Prix right now, with Ruiz, Fury, Wilder, and Joshua as the headliners. And then 12 other dudes, and then just put them into like a blood sport style tournament. That would sell some pay-per-views. Because
if you bring Butterbean out of retirement, I'm in.
Absolutely. He could be a first round.
What, they don't have enough like flair, pizzazz, marketing. Like they're not, like you're saying, like the fights aren't consistent enough. Like Joshua and Fury and Wilder are fighting like once a year. I didn't even know this fight was happening, really. Like,
right.
I don't know.
This is the fat old guy that he was a champion before.
He knocked out Joshua, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was a fluke.
Well, Areola is older than Ruiz. Ruiz could still, if he like puts it all together, could make another run. But there are so many good heavyweights right now.
There are. They're like historically good. They're like very good. But there's just no promotion going into them or whatever. Like it's
you
just
need to put Dana White on top of that.
Yeah.
He could make that happen. He could. Okay. Well, also the NFL draft happened over the weekend. The Eagles and the Jets were among teams who graded very well. Mark and Bubba, you guys have any thoughts about your teams, your excitement for this upcoming season?
I'd say suck my dick, NFC East.
You think you're calling a title shot?
I don't know.
Title shot after that draft?
I don't know. Devontae Smith, he reminds me a little bit of Jerry Rice.
You got Jacoby Stevens from LSU too. I like that pick.
And that guy, the center from Alabama who tore his ACL in December, but he pancakes. He benches like 8 billion pounds. Landon Dickinson or whatever. Yeah, that guy's a beast. Yeah, pretty good draft for the Eagles. What about you, Bubba?
Yeah, what's going on with the Jets?
I was just gonna say Jets. That's all I got.
Okay, you excited about the guy who looks like? He looks like more like an Abercrombie and Fitch model.
He looks like he was in Bubba's.
Zach Wilson. Yeah. He really is just a rejuvenated Sam Darnold. But we'll see. I mean, I'm stoked for everything around.
Is that the guy who's all nervous around the black guys? There's that guy.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
That was him.
That was amazing.
That was him. BYU will do that to you.
You guys will also win ultimate frisbee tournaments if they have them in the NFL. With that guy.
All right. Other teams that did well: the Bears, Lions, Jags, Broncos, Giants, Chargers, and Patriots. So,
just those few, huh?
Yeah, but that means nothing.
No.
Please, football season, come back to us soon. The draft grades mean absolutely nothing. And finally, the number one trend in sports over the weekend, and sports dominated the weekend, was Manchester United fans rushed the field at Old Trafford to protest their American ownership on Sunday, forcing to postpone the game with Liverpool, and injuring a few police officers in like the melee. So it was like over 1,000, angry mob of over 1,000 Man U fans just stormed into the field, took it over before the game was supposed to happen. They were also like monitoring the hotels where the teams were staying. They're like, they fucking hate Liverpool. They fucking hate the Glazer family who owns Man U for trying to start the Super League. And basically, if you were involved with the Super League and you're in Manchester, it is fate on sight right now. So
so the Glazer family is the American family that also owns the Buccaneers and is like historically kind of money hungry and does this. But yeah, I mean, there's this movement in like the EPL specifically where the American owners are in shit shape, like because
don't really blame them, honestly.
Yeah, they're pissed that these American owners are coming in, and then all of a sudden the Super League came up, and it was mainly because of the American owners. Do you see Jay Glazer, the NFL, the bald guy, the NFL commentator, like the
people thought
analyst,
he was the owner?
They thought he was a part of the Glazer family, so he had to tweet out today, "I'm not a part of that Glazer family." Yeah,
not related. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, pretty fucking cool though. Like, I'm sorry for the police that were injured. One police officer got like slashed across the face, but like these fans just like absolutely like, they just pissed all over the ownership there and just like took over the field. It's kind of a
wild. It's wild, is what it is.
Powerful statement from the fans, and that's the buzz.
All right, guys. Living in an old folks' home is a sad reality that some of us will face, right? I don't know about you guys, but I've visited one of the really, really bad nursing homes, and it was one of the most depressing things I have ever seen. Have you guys ever been to one of these things? Really bad?
A nursing home in general.
Yeah.
It's not like it's always like a pretty
a state-run nursing home.
Oh no!
What were you?
Yeah.
Were you doing that as a family thing?
Volunteering?
What were you doing?
My grandmother was there. My grandmother was in one of these things for a few months while my mom and aunts argued about what to do with her, and it was sad. I walked into the main entrance, and the hallway was just lined with old people in wheelchairs staring at you. I think Bubba's got a picture to throw up if he's pinned. Yeah, it was like this. That's exactly that's exactly what it looked like. So they're just lined down the hallway,
with none of their family,
just staring at you, dribbling, sleeping, clearly just left for dead. After I visited my grandmother in her room, and she got done telling me about how awful the place was and how hard and black her stool was, I was leaving. I opened the wrong door and heard a nurse yell, "Shut the door! Shut the door!" And an old man / zombie slowly lunged toward me, and I slammed the door shut in his face. It was like a horror movie. Like it was like that was like another dimension, and that's 100% true.
You got that nurse killed.
Yeah. It was
You
very
worked
sad.
him up. You riled him up. He saw fresh blood.
They are fucking depressing places. It's not like a rich assisted living facility. These state nursing homes are sad.
You don't say.
Yeah, I tell you this because it obviously traumatized me a little bit, and telling it helps me, but also so you empathize with the main characters of this story, a husband and wife who were prisoners of the Elmcroft of Lebanon, Tennessee, assisted living facility in Lebanon, Tennessee. Here's a picture of the outside, and I don't know what Bubba picked, but yeah, that's one of the rooms. There's a dining hall.
Looks nice.
It looks okay, right? Like that like studio with the fucking, it's got a fridge. It looks pretty nice, right? But this husband and wife team escaped. They hated it so much. Both were suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, and decided they need to break out. And how they broke out.
Could that have to do with their desire to break out? Or okay, I'm sorry.
No, I think
they thought they were 30.
Right.
I think that they just don't like being held against their will.
Yeah, but two people in that state, probably need some assistance.
Right.
They
It's
do.
also kind of typical of Alzheimer's or dementia
Right.
to have
To
a
be
locked door system so they don't end up in traffic.
Right. You wander sometimes. Right.
Yep.
So, but how they broke out is amazing. So the husband used a skill he learned in the military, which was Morse code.
Nice.
So you see that the facility and the escape route was blocked by a door locked with a keypad code. So every day, this old man listened and studied as nurses punched in that code, and using his skills got in the military, he was able to decipher the exact combination of the code, and he and his wife made a break for it on March 2nd.
Well, his Alzheimer's isn't that bad. How did he? He couldn't orchestrate that.
No,
You got
Will,
out.
I think Alzheimer's is kind of selective in some respects. Like there are things that you can remember, but it's not necessarily
You wouldn't
depending
be
on
able
what
to
stage
do
you're at.
that. You wouldn't be able to do that if you had really bad Alzheimer's.
Well,
no chance.
Was he in World War II? Do you know? Or
I believe it was World War II, and I'm not. It said that he and his wife were both suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's.
Because this requires multiple days in a row of
Yes.
remembering what you did, and also like notating what it was.
This is all he focused on, probably.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
the only thing he gave 100% of the little memory he had just to this.
It's a good project. If you're
it's amazing.
Yeah, this might be like a scientific breakthrough.
Right. Yeah.
Morse
might
It's
be
code.
like
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
mega romantic too. This
Yeah.
is so romantic. The idea
Yeah.
that they're in there together and they're both
Yeah.
losing their brains, and he breaks out and he's like, "Lady, we're getting out of here."
Oh,
This
Where
might
do
be
they
how
go?
you. This
Yeah.
might be how you
Find out.
unlock, like, get through Alzheimer's. Is you have to find out this guy had a skill that they probably could know Morse code. So you have to like find out what this person's skill is, lock him in a room, and give him like little niblets of if he could remember his old skills, he could get out.
You're talking
There
about
you go.
give them treats like a dog.
Well, no, just like
Yes.
just like for someone else, it could be like a lock pick. For someone else, it could be I don't know, but like you have to like put them in a shitty situation, but you can get out of it if you remember how to do something you did 20 or 40.
So
30
Mark's
years ago.
Mark's like the Saw guy if
Right.
he
Yeah.
was to run
Yes.
elderly home.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't kill them, but
Right,
yeah.
you just torture them, and
You
then
can
Oh, give
name
him a
all
chance
your
to get out.
children.
They had a chance to.
all you have to do is remember how to
Yeah.
juggle. If this guy was a juggler, if he can juggle his way out of it,
Mark's like, do you want out of your reverse mortgage or no?
yeah, exactly.
pick the key that used to go to your house, and I'll let you out.
Yeah.
And we'll
So-
stop your reverse mortgage right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, dementia and Alzheimer's caught up with them not long after the escape, and someone reported an old man peeing in someone's lawn about 2 blocks away, and they were caught 30 minutes later. I kid about
Well, he just had to relieve himself.
They were just no, I kid about that. They were just wandering aimlessly and were obviously not supposed to be out. So they got called. Someone called, and they were brought back. The facility was fined $2,000 by the state, and they said they have changed all the codes on the keypads and have poured hot wax in the old man's ears to prevent him from doing this again. But can you imagine like the fucking applause and like questions that they got asked when they came back? Like, hey, is my bitch daughter out there, or is it snowing, or all that kind of shit? Yeah.
It looks like a nice place. You can see the weather.
yeah, I know.
Has Jesus come back yet?
Yeah.
Is my son out there?
What do they have, like one of those like a voice like codes, like when you punch in the numbers, like 4, 7.
Man, if I was
9.
that guy though, if I was that guy the whole time, I'd just be like complaining. I'd be like, "Look, I broke your system. Clearly, I don't need to be in here."
Right.
I'd be
True.
belligerent if they were trying to drag me back.
Well, then they would say, where else do you have to go, old man? And then he'd be silent.
Well, then you go with Wes's complaining about your family route. That's I think you just transition straight over there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a crazy story. But guys, I'll tell you what these nursing homes need is a big old supply of what would make them a lot happier, and that's Caliper CBD. The stress of not having their loved ones call them back will just slip away. And guess what? If you are suffering from stress or sleeplessness, Caliper CBD can help you too. Caliper CBD as a powder is the only clinically proven fast-acting CBD. It delivers 30 times more CBD in the first 30 minutes versus CBD oil. Get all the benefits of CBD in just 10 minutes. Some CBD oils can take over an hour to absorb, not Caliper. Developed by food science experts with decades of experience, rigorously tested for purity and quality. Caliper CBD comes in convenient, easy-to-use packets, precisely 20 milligrams in each packet, always THC-free, and you'll feel better without the high, so no need to worry about that. No weird taste, no oily residue, mixes easily in any food or drink, tea, water, coffee, whatever you want. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code FACTOR at trycaliper.com/factor. You can try Caliper CBD risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, there's Will enjoying some right now, just right on his tongue. They'll give you a full refund. That's trycaliper.com/factor. Don't forget promo code FACTOR for 20% off your first order.
Pat, where's your arm coming from on that?
Oh, don't worry, Mark.
You see what this was?
That angle.
Wes.
Yeah.
Wes, what this was a Caliper Swift stick. And that goes straight on the tongue. Delicious. 20 milligrams instantly.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Perfect. I mean, it really is good stuff. You should give it a shot.
Gentlemen, Jerry Falwell Jr., the disgraced former president of the Evangelical Bible College, Liberty University, isn't going to let a little thing like a massive lawsuit from his former employer ruin his fun when he's got a thing going. And if you guys don't know about the lawsuit, it was filed about 2 weeks ago, and it alleges that Falwell Jr. gave himself a $12.5 million raise while hiding a decade-long relationship with Miami pool boy Giancarlo Granata, where the 20-year-old would bang his wife Becky while he would beat off in the corner.
Right. Yeah,
remember this.
We covered when it initially broke about his sexual preferences there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's since been let go and then is now being sued by the college.
Right.
I will say this.
That makes sense.
Falwell Jr. did do a bang-up job of growing the college. There's no doubt about that. They really can't shit on him. He was the first guy to do correspondence courses from an evangelical Bible college, and it blew the F up. He made the college a lot of money. But he also was involved in a 10-year, as I said, fling with a pool boy. He would.
Isn't that his own business? I guess it's because Liberty is such a conservative Christian school. They can't handle that kind of freak in the sheets.
Yeah, they hated it.
Yeah.
He was doing things like sending the Liberty private jet to Miami to pick up Giancarlo to fly him back on
Using
Trump
company
Day.
funds.
There you
And
go.
then the guy's walking around with the soon-to-be president of the United States and like some of the most heavy-hitting political operatives in the Republican Party, Giancarlo, and they're like, "What's this guy doing here?"
And
To
not
bang
a
his wife.
single pool on school grounds was cleaned once.
Yeah, that's true, guys. Let's just say Jerry Jr. and Becky really enjoyed the fringe benefits of being around a perpetual revolving door of young, hot, sheltered co-eds who don't even have the slightest clue what the good Lord gave them in terms of their bodies and let alone know how to put it to service. if you know
Wouldn't
what
we
I'm
all?
saying, guys.
Well, I mean, but Jerry showed him how to put it to service. I mean, he instructed him how. It sounds like.
Some of them. When graduation day rolled
From
around,
the corner, put
Right.
it to service.
Service her this way.
Yeah, flip her over from a dark corner.
you don't even know what you
Behind-
have, girl.
He's watching on a monitor from like behind a partition.
It's like the True Lies thing. He's like, yeah, nice and slow.
Yeah. Slowly. He's behind like a confession.
Exactly.
So
One
when
way or
graduation day rolled around, guys, Jerry wasn't gonna miss what might have been the last opportunity to fuck the outgoing seniors on his terms. So he showed up at a student event, a comedy night. He was uninvited. There was about 200 students there, and he announced all 200 of them to come to a graduation party at his home. Keep in mind, guys,
Me and Giancarlo, my wife. Come on,
everyone's
guys.
going to be there. We got skis, corners, everything. Falwell got on the mic on a small stage outside of an off-campus house and said, quote, I just want to invite all the seniors to my farm. We're going to have the real Liberty graduation. If you're not a senior, but one, you can come too, because we're into no, they didn't say the couples part, added that. A student who was there told Politico, who broke this story, that Falwell's daughter, who's also a student at university, told people, please don't come. And my guess is that's because her mom, Becky, has a history of administering the Holy Sacrament in the form of the Holy Succulent to her kids' friends when they stay overnight at the Falwell farm. And that's because Becky blew the bass player and her son Trey's band one night after band practice, and then continued to blow for a long period of time.
She's insatiable.
The bass player, huh?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bass players.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, Trey was playing guitar.
That's
That
the
was
less.
her son,
That's
yeah.
the the bass player is the least likely to get a blowjob in the
Right,
band.
yeah.
Best available.
But Jerry probably loved that. I mean, Jerry Jr. just sounds like. I mean, the more Becky gets curious, the more Jerry Jr. gets aroused. I mean,
he loves
it's
a hard luck
direct
story.
correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He loves what a slut she is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have. This is even. I'm even surprised by you, the bass player.
Bass player.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Apparently
You
kill me.
outdone yourself,
What are you
Becky, from
trying
the
to do, kill
corner.
me, Becky?
Yeah, what are you trying to get? Whoa, I'm worked up. The
he's
bass
just
player.
losing his mind in like the security cam.
Yeah, you've done it again.
Apparently, the bass player, I guess they've been practicing in an unoccupied church next to their property that the Falwells owned. They're like, yeah, you guys can practice in the church, and they were drinking whiskey. So they're like, why don't you just stay over? So the bass player goes to stay in like a spare bedroom, and he lays down and he hears giggling, and he looks down, and Becky's like on the floor between the bed and the wall waiting for him. And then
Oh my
she
God.
just goes right to anyway, guys, Falwell, who regularly throws his wife Becky under the bus during public speeches, said, quote, we'd love to have you out there. Says there's no way we can plan it that fast, but can, and we will. And then he added that when you're as horned up as we are, miracles can.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Hey, did you guys know Kid Rock owns a bar in Nashville called Kid Rock's Big Ass Honky Tonk Rock and Roll Steakhouse?
No.
No, that sounds perfect though.
yeah, that's the first place I'm going next time I go to visit the storied Music City.
There you go, Pat.
Looks fun. Whoa.
Yeah. As you can imagine, it gets pretty rowdy. You see the image there at that establishment from time to time. It gets a little rowdy. You better be mentally prepared to fight or fuck any given night you go to KRBAHTRRNRS. I mean, there's some characters there, right? Like, for example, the guy this weekend who took off his colostomy bag and started swinging it at people.
Oh.
Whoa,
Like
okay.
a ball, like a mace, like a
Yeah.
like a medieval
Well, like a
mace.
ball with the ball
Ball
bag
and-
of shit, baby.
Yeah.
He's a
Um,
mess.
Making a mess. Taking it to the internet, Nashville Scanner said male took off his colostomy bag and started swinging it at others. Some units have feces on them. This is the third time I've heard this colostomy bag guy in the past 2 nights.
What? This guy's rolling around town just shitting on
If
everybody.
you guys don't know what a colostomy
Let
bag
them
is, people that have certain diseases, right? The colostomy bag serves as their intestines, right? So like it's a sad thing. It's a bummer. You're essentially carrying your intestines around outside
Bag
your
of
body.
It's a medical condition that requires you to shit into a bag
Bag
for
of shit.
a number of reasons, but it's you have to change it yourself, and it's outside of your body, the bag of shit. So apparently what happened was this guy got so hammered that 911 was called on him twice over like a 12-hour period for health checks, and he refused medical attention both times. But when they got called a third time, he had enough of telling the cops, "I'm fine, go away, I'm fine," and he just took off his colostomy bag and started flinging his shit at the cops and everyone around them.
Oh, I swear to God,
Leave me
Brian,
alone!
you keep buying shots, and I'm gonna start swinging this bag around this bar. No, you won't.
I
No,
hope
you
he
won't.
didn't
I swear
warn
to
him.
God.
I think he warned him for sure. According to the Nashville Scanner again, they later said at least one officer is heading home for 30 to 40 minutes to get a change of clothes. Take as much time as you need because he was covered.
Yeah, you're coming back out after that?
No.
That's a free night off.
You're
the
off.
Sarge just got to send you home. It's like,
Yeah,
you got the colostomy bag guy? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
take a
Have
shower.
Good night, rookie.
Yeah, get a good night's sleep. That'll put a damper on the evening getting shit from some drunk old dude's colostomy bag flung all over you. But don't take our word for it. Let's head to the internet for some reactions. Let's see how let's see. Eric, the rural juror, said, "Must have been Florida night in the honky tonk." So a fan of Florida Man Florida. Florida Man Friday. Good call there, Eric, the rural juror. Greg Rank, at Greg Rank, says, "Great read while I eat breakfast, angry cat face." So that moron saw the headline of man swings colostomy bag at people at Kid Rock's
Clicked on
bar
it.
and then clicked on it and read the whole thing while eating breakfast. And he's mad. And he's mad at the
And then
author
he uses cat face emojis.
because he's
wanted to-
insane, Will.
He wanted to spoil his own breakfast.
Because he thinks he's a cat. Greg Rank's got a few screws loose. And then Harold Franklin, slaughterer of thousands, said, "Oh, like none of you have ever removed your colostomy bags and waved them around?" And then two guys that have colostomy bags responded. Matt Sullivan says, "As someone with one, there have been times where it was tempting." And Danny Ware your PPE correctly says, "Had one for a year. Definitely tempted a few times due to neighbors partying into the wee hours on a school night." So two guys with colostomy bags there saying they really
just
wanted to throw their
steered-
shit at you.
Oh,
So be nice to people with colostomy bags is the moral of the story, because
No, it's
every
not.
single one of them wants to throw their shit at you, it sounds like.
moral of the story: stay the fuck away from people with colostomy.
Well, yeah,
bags.
that's,
You
yes,
don't wanna
stay,
get shit all over you.
stay
Big
away.
ass.
Yeah, or Kid Rock's Honky Tonk Steakhouse run and grill.
It's a Detroit theme bar.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather be shot, though, than attacked by a colostomy bag. That's probably the most
It's
fucked
like
up
the
weapon.
diarrhea bucket. It's basically the same thing because
Yeah.
it's like the people with colostomy bags basically just have the diarrhea bucket on them, ready to go all the
It's
time.
like it's like the portable version. It's like the handgun version of the
just a shit balloon at all times.
Oof. Anyways, that's going to do it for stories, but we do have one more special thing for you here. Charlie Langton, the man, speaking of poop, the local news legend that covered the poop wall, here he is. All right, welcome to the show. And this is a new segment, Local News Legends. And we have local news legend Charlie Langton. If you watched the episodes last week, Charlie caught our eye doing exemplary work on a local news report, and I think we can just run the clip here to refresh anyone's memory that didn't see it.
It's just a shit pile over there.
Well, we'll just call it a poop wall, a 250-foot long poop wall. That's really close to the house.
They probably sold, like, it has some cultural or agricultural benefit.
Well, not really. See, the poop wall is really all part of a family feud.
They normally spread it on the field, but decided to make a fence out of it.
Wayne, where does all this poop come from?
So Charlie, great job on that piece. What was up with the poop ball? How bad did that smell, and what was going on there?
It was bad. It stunk. It was bad. And we've had days of 50 degrees here, and this is really outside of Detroit. But this day was 80 degrees.
Oof.
And you get a whiff of that wind, and the poop it just pierces your nose, and you can get it's little subtle whiffs, It's little hints of poop. Cow poop is what it
And
was.
that's a humid 80 there in Detroit. So you're just,
is.
I mean, it is that poop smell is sticking to you. In the summer.
It seemed like that guy put in a lot of work on the poop ball. It was pretty pronounced the poop wall? Like how is he just doing that all day? Like what is he doing?
What's the
story?
So
the poop. So he's got. So the real backstory is this is a family feud, and back 100 years ago, this was a nice farm where they had a lot of cows, and the grandpa had 2 sons, and one son got 171 acres, and then the other son, Wayne's father, got 1 acre. So it's been a family feud. So the guy that owned 171 acres, he wanted to raise these cows or whatever. So he was going to sell the rights to the city to preserve it as a farm. But they had to do a survey. So when they went to do the survey, Wayne said, wait a minute, this is my property. So there was a dispute. And from then on, those guys hated each other. So the guy that owned 171 acres, he said, I'll determine where this is. I'll put a poop wall. Yeah. And that's how it started.
So he had 171 acres to Wayne's one. So that's like rubbing salt in salt in the wound, but it's poop. But it's like a poop wall in the wound.
It's like a big poker stack, except your chips are a poop wall.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just pushing your chips at the small stack.
And Wayne, go ahead, sorry, Charlie.
Wayne, listen, Wayne is talk about quirky guys. Wayne's kind of a quirky guy. He doesn't like the farm really. He's doing other things. So he rents it out to some college kids at University of Michigan. Good kids. But, the other guys are working the farm. They've got, I don't know how many hundreds of cows. They sold it. They were planting corn. I mean, these guys are workers. And Wayne,
we had a theory that might have been part of the adding to the feud, too, is that Wayne doesn't give a shit about farming.
Right.
So they don't like him, yeah.
So, Charlie.
They don't like him and his college kids that are coming to town, yeah.
Just so we're clear, so the poop wall is, in fact, it's weaponized. It's there. He's attempting to force Wayne out. Is that what's going on?
Yes, I think that is really what's going on. They want Wayne's little 1 acre so they can get rid of Wayne and, put some more cows or plant some more corn or whatever. So
this is your cousin.
There's a weird backstory. I didn't really include it, but so the guy in the tractor, he is from Ireland. This guy he's a tough guy, Ireland, and he basically, he hates Wayne. So what Wayne did is he put a big Union Jack flag on his property aimed right at Wayne's thing. So we got the English and the Irish going here. He made an international war out of poop, and it's crazy stuff.
Something tells me, Charlie, that Wayne is asking a pretty penny for that 1 acre too. Is my guess.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Wayne's stuck. He's not gonna. No one's gonna buy it. I think
the last piece of the puzzle there for his.
Wayne needs to. Sounds like Wayne needs to sell.
Or he'll be smelling shit the rest of his life.
Well, he's not even there. It's the college kids that are smelling it.
Why did he get such little amount of land? Why did that side get such little amount?
That's a great question, because apparently back in the turn of the century, 100 years ago, the oldest son got all the land. Right. And the other people in the family just got enough to live on. Okay. And so the grandfather had basically 2 kids, Wayne's father and the other guy's father, and Wayne was not in the oldest line of lineage, or whatever you call it.
Wow.
He only got the 1 acre.
Dang.
That sucks.
Yeah, Wayne's had a tough life. He really has.
Poor Wayne.
It's really turned around for youngest children. It's really gotten better.
Charlie, when we saw this clip, we thought to ourselves, Charlie is a one-man wrecking machine, right? Did you get this scoop? How did you find the scoop? And tell us about the production of the story. Are you a one-man army out there?
Honestly, I'm a lawyer is my real job. I've only been doing this television stuff for 10 years now or so.
You're fucking good at it, Charlie.
You're excellent. Yeah.
Now listen, I've got to give some credit. So the story originated from our news director. It was discovered there, and we were the only station that had it at the time. So we went down and did the story. But I work with a great editor, Matt Phillips. He's an editor and photographer. So the two of us have worked together for many, many years now. And so I have to give credit to Matt. He's a middle-aged, grumpy editor. He told me to tell you guys that. If I'm the elder guy,
that's all of them, right?
That's all. That's all of us.
You have to be that.
But between the writing, so I'll write the story and then Matt will edit the story. That's how we do it. But we knew we had good stuff with Wayne because he's a little quirky, and then these college kids were very good too. And then we just got lucky with the guy. His name is Dave McClellan. Dave McClellan from Ireland with a very thick accent. I wish we had a better sound from him. And we just got him riding his tractor on this day. And
that was a great clip, though.
Yeah,
he didn't want to talk to you.
I don't like the price of milk there. Yeah.
That's right. Wayne doesn't like it, but he don't like the price of milk either. Yeah. There's a funny cast of characters. We got lucky there. and just kind of listen. I'm in Detroit. So listen, we've got, COVID is out of control. We're the worst in the state. We've got, Detroit's just getting out of bankruptcy. They're trying to get a new charter. We've had some issues. Our Tigers, our baseball team is atrocious, terrible.
Oh, they're bad, yeah.
We have a lot of problems in Detroit. So when we can do a story about poop and make it kind of funny, we'll jump on it.
That's our type of story. Good call, Charlie. Is there any other stories you'd like to shout out or call out that are similar that you can think of? What's the craziest story you've ever covered?
Well, I mean, there's always dog fighting in Detroit. That's a no-brainer. Did that a couple of years ago. That took off a little bit. I mean, we get, we've got some kids did a story. It's a little sad, but an autistic kid is being arrested for exposing himself. A 20-year-old, I couldn't call him a kid, but he's 20 years old. Oh. And we're trying to settle that case. But there's a lot of cases in Detroit. We've been very focused. Detroit's had some tough times. And the people of Detroit are very tough people. And we're kind of territorial, but, COVID has been a big problem for us here. And, again, we just got out of bankruptcy, but Detroit's making a comeback. It really is. So there's a lot of good pockets of Detroit. Now, this is a little farther away. We're about 25 miles out of Detroit, but, it's still our market anyway.
Well, we're a big time pro Detroit podcast. We did the Cannabis Cup in Flint, Michigan a couple years ago.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It was amazing.
We got very high in your city, Charlie.
That's right. We
loved every second of it.
Charlie. So we're going to start. So these dispensaries, we legalized pot a little bit, recreational pot. Mm-hmm. We're going to start having, I don't know if it's in other cities, but they're going to have where you can actually go in, smoke your pot and stay there. And I forget what they call it. They have them around.
We would love that because honestly, we had trouble buying weed legally when we were in Detroit because it was brand new when we got there and it was some sort of regulation. So Charlie, you're a lawyer. So is it your hobby to do these stories or it's your side gig?
It was a hobby, and then after a couple of contracts, I do radio in the morning, and I do Fox 2. I do WWJ radio, and then Fox 2 after. So now I still have an office, but now it's mostly radio and television. I'll get up at 3:30 in the morning, like tomorrow, and then go cover a barricaded gunman or a fire or shooting or whatever the case may be, and then I'll bust out of the radio, and then I'll go over to Fox 2 and do a couple stories for Fox 2. So I'm not practicing. I'm not in the courtroom a lot, but I've been a lot. It's fun. I like it. But this is kind of fun, this media stuff.
Charlie, it is. And you're very good at it, obviously, winding up on the legends.
At Fox 2, they're like, here comes Charlie. What's he got for us today?
That's crazy.
But I got a question related about story. Because we have an intern, Bubba, who is waiting for his bar exam results right now. Do you have any words of wisdom to share with a young legal mind in that situation?
Pop in, Bubba.
Yeah, what's your second choice for a job?
This no. So I'm kind of following in your footsteps pretty well.
No, you know what? Listen, a law is a great general knowledge, but you don't really learn anything until you practice. You really don't. So if you want to do criminal law, I've done criminal law, appellate work, workers' comp, car accidents, whatever. I've done a lot of it for 25 years before I did anything in the media. I do think it's a good background if you want to go into media, because many of the stories we cover have to do with the legislature or city council and municipal government, and even the criminal stuff, murder and, a preliminary exam versus a indictment. I mean, there's a whole bunch of subtleties. And so to have you can talk and understand the language, but you don't really know it until you've actually done it. So I don't know, Bubba, what you want to do. You want to be a criminal lawyer? You want to be an entertainment lawyer? You want contracts?
Bubba said didn't Bubba say he specifically wanted to defend sex offenders? Isn't that what Bubba?
No.
He called it the Lord's work.
No.
They need representation.
No.
Sometimes they didn't do it.
No, I do agree with the fair system, but no. I'm going to go into criminal work, hopefully. So I apprate those words of advice.
Listen,
I'll take them on.
So the deal with criminal work is you get your money up front. That's the most important thing. And, criminal work is actually a lot of fun. You get a lot of more trial work, which is kind of fun. You do try some cases. And just because the prosecutors or the, district attorneys, I don't know where you're at, but, they may overcharge a lot. And know when to try the case and when not to try the case.
That's true. That's it. That's that, and always get your money up front is the two things I've always heard.
Get the money up front.
I'm glad you echoed
that's a good rule for anybody. I mean,
but criminal work is a lot of. I tell you, I love criminal work. I mean, we get Kwame Kilpatrick, our former mayor of Detroit, was very popular around here. Still popular. He could probably run, but he was convicted of RICO, racketeering, and sent to prison for 24 years, I believe it was, until President Trump
24 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was the longest sentence for any elected official in the whole country.
But Trump commuted a sentence before he left office, you're saying?
He did, because the day or so before President Trump, he commuted the sentence. So Kwame Kilpatrick had a buddy, Bobby Ferguson, who was his right-hand man, and he had to do 20-some-odd years, and his buddy, the mayor, got out. But Bobby Ferguson just got out yesterday, or just last week. So it's kind of a dynamics here. It's great. Good stuff.
Well, Charlie, you got anything else for us?
Charlie, can you
want to talk about
can you send a link to that autistic kid who exposed himself? I need a story for tonight.
Well, it's a sad case, though. It's not a funny one. It's a very sad.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people don't understand the autism, and the problem is he exposed himself on one street, and he happened to then cross the street and expose himself again.
It's a double exposure.
And yet they're in 2 different cities.
You got to even it up.
2 charges pending.
2 cities?
Yes,
so
he's on
sad.
the border.
At least he's consistent, you know.
Yeah.
He's got 2 charges, 2 different. It's a problem.
Terrible. Charlie, can you do a sign off? Your normal sign off, but say reporting for Hard Factor News. Can you do a sign off for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Charlie Langton reporting for Hard Factor News. The best.
Thank you, Charlie. You're our first local
Charlie.
news legend.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. You're a legend.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, thank you very much to Charlie Langton. That was a lot of fun. That guy seems like a great guy. Keeping it real in Detroit. Lawyer and news expert. So thanks, Charlie.
It made me miss Detroit. I really
we had a great time in Detroit.
Fantastic in the spring.
What was the name of that place we went to? We won't get into it. No, it's a particular establishment. But hey, that's going to do it for Hard Factor. We love you guys. We got a big week, of course, coming up this week. What do we have coming up this week? Anything? Am I just lying about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a big week at Hard Factor.
It's just a big week.
Huge. It's going to be a massive week. We got.
Well, this show was huge. We came up with a bunch of stuff at the top of the show. We had Charlie Langton at the end of the show. I'm sure we'll come up with a bunch of crazy shit. Call us 512-270-1480 for voicemails. Leave us 5-star reviews. We'll get to those on Friday. And most importantly, have a great fucking day.